Holidays, so a lot of folks were off, but hey, football doesn't take any time off, especially this Braves football team coming off the big win over Alabama A&M. A pleasant good evening to one and all. We are live here on the beautiful campus of Alcorn State University. You know what this is. You know what that means, Fred McNair? It's homecoming, and already, and just to give you a heads up, already some folks here in our parking lot and along the grassy areas are setting up their tailgating areas. Here it is, 5 days before kickoff, and folks are getting into it already, getting set up for a big weekend, and the weather's going to be picture perfect. Braves with a big win over Alabama A&M on Saturday, getting back in the win column. Coach Fred McNair here in studio. Good evening, Coach.
Good evening, Charles.
Congratulations on the win, boy. I'm sure that ride home, that 7-hour ride, and that's the longest bus ride that we have to deal with in the conference. Houston is 6, Huntsville's about 7. I'm sure it was a nice ride home.
Well, when you win, Charles, it's always an easy ride coming home, and when you lose, it's one. Especially a long trip like Huntsville. So, the player was excited about it, and more for them than anything, just the players, just to get their morale back up to where they need to be. So it was a great win for us, and we're moving on to the next one at Texas Southern.
That second half, we got it done, and it seemed like we were, I wouldn't say coasting, but we were pretty solid until the last 30 seconds, last 40 seconds of the first half.
Yeah, no, we did some good things in the first half, and going into that last 30 seconds, we thought that we had a chance to put more points up on the board, and I think that we had a great play call, but I think that protection fell down, and we lost a guy on the left end there, and Flush Footman up in the pocket, and he throws an ill-advised pass, with somebody on his back. He should have just ate it. Just live to see another down, but things happen, and we have to learn from that, and just get better at doing things like that.
Let's get to the highlights. Give us a call, 601-877-6595, 601-877-6595. Keisha's here with the tweets. We'll be getting to those here on the Fred McNair Radio Show. The Braves won the toss, took the football, got it at their own 35-yard line. Lance Turner, 2 carries for 5 yards, so the Braves were faced with a 3rd down and 5. Third down, Footman looks, throws. Pass is caught for a first down at the 43-yard line. A hot read, a hot pass, and a first down to the 43. Collins Moore with the catch, and he's more and more seems like getting acclimated to what's happening out there.
He's a big physical receiver, Charles, and he runs his routes with a lot of discipline routes he runs. So, by just running that route, the slant route, an excellent glance route to him, makes a great play on the ball, and gives us a first down there and able to move the chains.
Yep, he sure did. Move the chains, 1st and 10 from A&M's 42. Tip McKenzie, 4 yards. And on this highlight, 2nd down and 9. 2nd down. And here is Norris Footman keeping it, and it's wide open to the 30, 25. Stumbling, stayed in bounds, and goes out of bounds. He tried to cut to his right, lost his footing. Wide open left side, inside the 20 to the 16-yard line, a gain of 22, and the Braves are in business here in the red zone. Welcome back, Lenore's Footman.
I mean, just dropping back, just trying to find an open receiver there, and after fake the bacon, then he just had a good run. I wish he would have got out of bounds a little earlier than he did, just to save the hits on his body, but I think he did a great job just getting downfield and making a play.
With that run, it was 1st down and 10 from Alabama A&M 16-yard line. Behind Lenore's Footman, straight head off to Baker, left side, 20, 15, to the 10, Baker to the 5, Baker's going to score from 17 yards out.
That's why they were watching him on the previous play. They know he was stumbling with it.
So the Braves with a 7-0 lead, nice drive to start. You've been talking about the fast starts, and that was a good one right there.
That's something we've been trying to do all year, Charles, and just making a fast start with the offense. And we know going into the game, if we wanted to talk, we were going to receive the ball and try to get off to that fast start that we needed. So, offense did a great job of executing the plays, getting downfield, and just like a simple stretch play for Baker there, and he runs it in from 16 yards out.
6-play, 65-yard drive. Great start for the Braves. Offense. Now, defensively, Alabama A&M starts at their own 25-yard line. They got to their own 47, where it was 3rd down and 13. Fowler back to pass, check down, and this Pass is intercepted at the 35-yard line. Eric Foster with the interception. So the defense now making a statement.
Yeah, that's something we've been waiting on too. Just to create turnovers on the defensive side of the ball, and Eric Foster did a great job of defending the corner out and just making a play on the ball, going up and getting it to the high point.
Well, the Braves picked up a first down, had to punt. It was tough in the wind, and that was a big factor of the wind, trying to play the wind in the game Saturday.
It feared me the most, especially when you have to receive punts and kickoffs like that with the wind blowing like it was. But our guy was kind of used to it, and got out and did some pregame warm-up and stuff, acclimated to the wind, and they was able to field the ball and did a great job at it.
It was an 11-yard punt, so A&M started at their own 45-yard line. They were able to get the ball to the Braves 7, where it was second down and goal. Ballard will keep it. Ballard to the 5, sets the tackle, off the ball. Braves got it. So Solomon Muhammad with the strip, Michael Brooks with the recovery.
A great job tackling the ball by Solomon. He did a great job of that, and it's one of the linebackers we're trying to get to feature a lot more in playing. He's a great kid, and he's a solid player for us, and look for more things out of him this upcoming year.
Well, through the first 15 minutes, our offense got off to a fast start. The defense held tight, created a turnover, and it was 7-0 Alcorn at the end of the first.
Yeah, a good first quarter for us. We always like to get more points out of it, but ball control offense that they had, and just slow pacing it down and run the inside trap on us on our offense, and just like we said, we came out fast, and the defense created turnovers there in the first quarter. So everything looking good right now with 7-0.
9 minutes after 6 o'clock, let's go to our first phone call. JJ calling in. Good evening, JJ.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good.
How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing good, JJ. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Congratulations on the win. I went to the game. It was about a 6-hour ride, give or take. It was everything that I thought it would be. I just knew we were going to win. I just woke up Saturday morning, got in the car, and I just we going to win this game. And second half, well, the whole game, you have to give the game ball to defense. Because second half, it was just they just really just kind of just made a lot of plays to keep them out of the end zone, so to speak. And offense played good, too. But, I was just really, really, really proud of the defense and Coach Thomas. And I was reading something this morning or whatever you said. You said something to the team to basically get them focused at halftime. I don't know what you told them, but I think you probably need to keep that approach going, because second half we really looked good. And I just think, that's kind of what we needed, is something to kind of get us going. And I think this win is going to, push us on to the end of the season. And like in the West, I'm really thinking that the West is going to come down to, the Bayou Classic, and I feel like the East is going to come down to the Soul Bowl. So just talk about what you are planning on as far as later on in the season, as far as depth and getting the team ready to really, after the bye week, kind of just really just making a run to kind of get ourselves in a position to go to Houston for the third year in a row.
Well, the biggest thing is, wins are hard to come by, and you have to be very good to get those wins. And the biggest thing is for us is just maintain our health and make sure we get all our guys healthy in the second part of the season. So we can't overlook Texas Southern. It's a good football team that's going to come in on Saturday. But we just got to take one Saturday at a time and play well and just keep our guys focused to the task at hand. And just one game at a time. And after that, it'll take care of itself at the end. And my guys just got to come out and play well this week.
I'll be listening to it on the radio, and just good luck, and let's go get them.
Okay, JJ.
All right, JJ, we appreciate it. That takes us to our first time out here, 12 minutes after 6 o'clock. Glad you can join us from Hattiesburg to Natchez to Vicksburg and online on the Alcorn Football Radio Network. We'll take a 1-minute break. Second quarter highlights coming up. Raise pride at home or in the office by purchasing the Alcorn State Back-to-Back SWAC Champions replica trophy. They're $20 each and make a great coffee table piece or desk of
It's just
paperweight.
about the second
Get
half.
yours today online
That's
by
all
going to
it's
alcorn.edu/foundation. Or you can call Larry Smith at 601-877-2470 or send him an email, lsmith@allcorn.edu. Proceeds will benefit Alcorn football.
It's hard for me to.
place
It's hard when you're listening and not watching.
athletics are played with purpose and perspective.
So I really don't know what to ask because I couldn't see it. So trying to listen.
Mississippi are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics, high school sports, and education. This message presented by the Mississippi High School Activities Association and the Mississippi Athletic Administrators Association.
At WPRL 91.7 FM.
All right, well, welcome back. The time is 13 minutes after 6 o'clock. Glad you can join us. Give us a call, 601-877-6595. We're going to be hearing from Texas Southern head coach Michael Haywood later on in the program. Will give us his thoughts on the Braves, and we'll get Fred McNair's take on the Tigers later on the Braves homecoming. 2 o'clock kickoff. We'll have the pregame show at 1:30. The parade will start at 9 a.m., so keep that in mind. Coach, homecoming's always exciting. The weather's going to be fantastic, and already the tents are going up, and it should be a tremendous atmosphere this weekend.
It should be, and just got through meeting with the team probably about an hour ago, Charles, and basically what I told them, homecoming is actually not for the players. It's for all the people that's coming back to homecoming, just to get back to the university and mingle with their classmates and all that kind of stuff. But we got business at hand to take care of, and we just try to stay focused on Texas Southern right now, and we'll leave homecoming up to the people that's coming back to Alcorn to fellowship.
All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Chelsea, who's been a regular contributor and caller to the Fred McNair Radio Show, joining us from Natchez, listening on our affiliate WMIS, WTYJ. Good evening, Chelsea.
Good evening. Good evening to you all. Coach Mack, I want to say congratulations on that great win this past weekend. You and the coaching staff as well as the players.
Thank you, Chelsea.
We're seeing great improvement every week. Not as many penalties as we were seeing early in the season. So the players appear to be getting a little healthier, so that's great. Have a couple of questions for you. Aaron Baker, what's his condition? I think he may have had slight ankle injury or something this past week.
Yeah, he just got through, had a doctor visit today, and he's going to be fine. We just got to rest him a day or so and get him back on his feet, and he'll be fine for Saturday. Just a little stiff in ankle.
He's appearing to be a huge playmaker for us this season. I know every time I call in, I mention him, but I'm just seeing a lot in him, and that's why I constantly bring him up every time I call in.
Oh, he's has defined himself as a running back. That's something that he take pride in his work that he does on the field in practice and all. So he's definitely one of the guys that you can really depend on and being there for you, being a contributor to the team, and the way he have been in the past, in the games he played. So we're gonna continue to push it, and as long as he stay healthy, Baker will be one of the guys that we really feature in everything that we do in this offense.
One concern I have is that, from what I have noticed, other teams seem to be rather efficient at completing third and longs. What are we doing to try and keep that from continuing to happen?
Well, the biggest thing is, the main thing in that game against Alabama A&M, the quarterback break and contain, and that's something we preached all week with the defensive end and the linebacker, and keeping that quarterback in the pocket. And we know he couldn't beat us in the pocket, but his scrambling abilities give him the outside, and once he get outside the pocket, anything goes, as far as he can run the ball, he can throw it when the guys come up and make the play on him. So that's one thing that we really, really stress during practice every week. And somehow the guys are just still having a breakdown in that and trying to keep that guy in the pocket to where he can't really get outside and make plays with his feet. And the biggest thing is we're going to have that challenge this week too. So it'll be a challenge for us. That's what we're going to work on all week. So just trying to keep the quarterback in the pocket so he won't beat us with his feet.
And then I still have concerns about our cornerbacks. They still tend to get beat rather often. I know you're constantly working with them on that. I noticed that this past weekend.
as I mentioned before, I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but I'm sure you look at film and you'll see where that's happening.
All right, Chelsea, thank you very much.
It's not thing that we really don't work on. They had a big 6'10" kid at receiver. We got a 5'11" guy. Of course, they're gonna throw the ball up to him. We just got to make a better play on the ball. And the timing wise was off with the cornerback jumping up, making a play on the ball. So we got to get better at that. And we're working hard every day to get those young guys in position to make plays at that position.
All right, Chelsea, we appreciate your calling in. Chelsea calling from Natchez. You talked about Derek Griffin, the guy that we've seen in the past. Derek Griffin is no longer playing football. He was, of course, a basketball guy. From the latest reports, he's not even playing football at this time. I think he's just dealing with basketball only. I don't know what happened. I don't know what the deal was there, but the latest reports that were out there is that he's no longer with the football team. So, I mean, that was about a month ago when that all came out. So who knows? Go ahead. You have a question?
That was right after the PV game.
Yeah.
And they didn't say what. They just said violating team rules.
Yeah.
So, I think he's done with football.
Yeah, and he's a sports star. I mean, he's 6'10", 6'11". You just put it up there, he can go get it as a receiver. That's a nightmare for a corner DB, isn't it?
You love to have one of those guys for your team. If we can find one of those guys too. So, but he was a really good player last year and did some great things. But for whatever reason, I don't think he knows what's wrong with the team. So we just got to get ready for whatever they got left in their pocket.
Let's get to the second quarter highlights at 19 minutes after 6. The Braves in the second quarter led 7-0. All-Core got to A&M's 9. A 26-yard field goal was missed, so it was 7-0 in the second quarter at that point. The next Bulldog drive started at their own 20. They converted 2 fourth downs, and then there was an All-Core penalty that kept the drive alive. Carton with a field goal of 36 yards to make it 7-3 with 6:11 left in the first half. Fred McNair and penalties. There was a personal foul penalty in there, especially on the corner, that kept that drive going and put them in field goal range.
And that's the thing that we talked to the defense staff about getting off the field on third downs and especially fourth down. And there you see too, the quarterback making plays with his feet again, and we just got to keep him contained. Force him to make those kind of throws that he don't want to make. And force him into just throwing it up and creating turnovers. And the corner pass in the first they called, it was a questionable call. I thought the ball was not catchable to me out of bounds, and they threw a flag on it. But again, the defense held them to 3 points right there. Great stop by them, and you can call it a win for the defense on that part. So they're doing things right now. So we just gonna continue to fight and compete the way we've been doing.
Well, 7-3 at that point, and the next Braves drive started at their own 47 after a Tip McKenzie 30-yard kickoff return. To the 40, steps out of a tackle. He's to the 30, he's to the 20, he's to the 10, to the 5. He dives for the cone. Did he get it? Touchdown! So Norris Footman, boy, he looks like he was 150% the way he played, and especially his runs.
Well, that just to show you that all week during practice he was really preparing himself to play this game against Alabama A&M, and I think he did a great job coming in, and he accounted for five touchdowns, 3 running and 2 passing. At that long run right there, you see that he really displayed his speed and getting in the end zone, and with a lot of effort there to dive in, and no matter what condition his ankle was in, but he made sure he was going to get in the end zone. So on those circumstances, so he's a great player, and I hope we continue to work the rest of this week, get ready for Texas.
It was 14-3 with 5:51 left in the first half. Let's fast forward the action. 2:39 left in the first half. A&M starts at their own 18 and got to the Braves 26, where it was a 2nd down and 3. Back to pass. Here comes pressure. They lob it, a fade, and this ball is going to be incomplete. Oh, is it going to be a catch? Yes, touchdown. Wow, underthrown ball. It was scooped up. It looks like caught. So Jonathan Dorsey with the catch. So it was 14-9 at that point. PAT no good. 54 seconds left in the first half. The next Braves drive started at their own 26-yard line. Fred McNair, maybe a first down or 2, maybe looking at get some points late first half. Throws, and it's down to the 20-yard line, inside the 20 to the 15. Flag is down at the end. So the A&M Bulldogs were in business. They had it at the Braves 23 with 37 seconds left in the first half. Throws the high fade, one-on-one ball, and it's going to be a catch, touchdown, A&M. Dorsey, the tight end on the jump ball. He's 6'6", 2 1/4, and he went up and got it, and just like that, A&M has the lead. 2 touchdowns in 25 seconds. So after being up 14-3 in a blink of an eye, we headed the locker room down a couple. You had your escorts. You escorted off the field pretty quickly. I know you weren't happy with the way that half ended.
No, I wasn't. Not at all, Charles. And I just at that time and point before the half, we had a little time to at least get in field goal range with a pass or two here and there. With the wind blowing in that direction, I think Hayden probably could have kicked a 40-something yard field goal to give us a little more edge on the points. But things happen, and I think as I said, protection breakdown and the Norris throw an ill-advised pass there at the end of it and get picked. And they did what they did. They brought the tall guy back in and threw a jump ball to him again. And we just didn't make a play on it at the end of it. We go up and compete for it. We may knock it out or call them to go out of bounds with it or something like that. But football is football. Just kind of disappointed in the way that half ended right there at the end. By them scoring 2 touchdowns so quickly there. But hopefully going into halftime and get a chance to talk to the coaches and talk to the players about the things that happened over the first half and trying to get them back up to come out and play a better second half.
Yes, and that led with special teams. We'll talk about that as we get into the third quarter highlights, and we'll get to the questions, comments, and tweets, all that coming up here on the Fred McNair Radio Show, 25 minutes after 6 o'clock. We'll be right back in 1 minute. Alcorn State University football thanks the 2016 members of the 1871 Club. Thank you so much to these great donors. Your support of Alcorn Football 2016. For more information on how you can become a member and a premier supporter of Braves football, contact Larry Smith, Director of Athletic Development, at 601-443-1881 or send him an email to lsmith@alcorn.edu.
One day, I'll teach chemistry to kids.
I'm going to be an architect.
My dream is to be a chef.
At the U.S. Department of Education's Office of Federal Student Aid, we provide more than $150 billion each year in grants, loans, and work-study funds, making higher education possible for anyone at any stage of life.
I can go back to college.
I can change careers. I can make a difference. Federal Student Aid, proud sponsor of the American Mind. Learn more about money for college at studentaid.gov.
All right, 26 minutes after the hour. Give us a call, 601-877-6595. Let's get into the third quarter highlights. Alabama A&M started at their own 11, got to their own 36, and they were forced to punt. All the kicking duty. This is blocked. Sideways, it can be picked up, rolls forward, and the Braves will have it around the 33-yard line. Wow, the Lance Turner with the block. And you talked with Cedric Tillman after the game about how special he could be on special teams.
Yeah, no, that's one thing that we don't only utilize Lance in running the football, but we utilize him on special teams as well. And he's a great special team player, doing a great job at it. And actually, he's a backup long snapper for punt. So he does a great job at everything he do. So just got to keep him going. And there he had that block punt. We have a chance to pick it, scoop, and score, but I think Jaron Hearn has decided to just fall on it and just secure the ball for us and get an offensive chance to make plays.
Well, the special teams got it done, and the offense capitalized. In the backfield, Footman, 3-step drop, pump, and lob, open, it's caught, touchdown, Collins Moore. So with 10:59 left in the third quarter, the Braves come right back at you after being down at half. It was 21-16. A&M started at their own 30 with 10:59 left. Got to the Braves 47, a 3rd and 14. Ballard sacked. Daniel Franklin called for the personal foul penalty, which kept that drive alive. Talk about that.
Yeah, and it's just one of them plays that you just got to know when to give up at that. And I didn't really see the penalty at the end, but the referee kind of explained it to me. But it was just it was a dead ball foul, and I think Dan might have pushed the guy down or something. Could have been a flop to me, but I mean, you just don't make that call there. But they did it, and we just had to bite that one and live with it. So I think it was just a play that we just should have stayed away from.
It was 1st and goal from the 4 as that drive continued. Ballard sacked on 3rd and goal from the 5. Card nailed a 34-yard field goal, so it was 21-19 with 1:54 left in the 3rd. Then Footman threw a pick late 3rd. The Braves defense holds late 3rd quarter. So at the end of 3, Fred McNair 21-19. So a tussle in the 3rd quarter despite what we did on special teams.
Yeah, I mean, right there, at the end, I thought we had a chance to, at the end of the 3rd quarter, to get another score there. But Footman leaves out there too long, and the guy picks it off. But just coming back and just fighting the second half in the 3rd quarter the way we did, I think special team played a big part in it, and the offense we capitalized on it, and so that's some of the things that we have to continue to do to get this thing rolling the way we want it to be rolling.
Close ball game. Let's go to the Twitter feed. Keisha?
We have a tweet saying the team responded well in the second half. What can you say contributed to such a strong finish?
No, more just being focused, and that's one of the things I talked to him about at halftime. I thought we was a little lackadaisical there in the first half, and executing the plays that we should have executed, but the guys came back and understood the point of focus and what we need to do to put this team away. And I think more of that than what the defense did to contain that quarterback, keep him inside the pocket, and do those things and just doing their job. And that's the biggest thing that we always talk to the kids about: do your job. I think that at the end of the day, I think that what contributed to being a big second half team, coming back to the way they played the second half. Everybody doing their job. I'm not trying to do too much, but just doing their job, and that's it. But overall, offense come back out just being focused and execute.
Right,
So,
and that was like the hot topic Saturday evening. Everybody talking about it. It was like the second half, they were just in a zone, almost leaving A&M. What they scored a field goal, I think.
Yeah.
That's it. So it just, from what it sounded like, because I wasn't there, but it did sound like the team was more focused and they were really like gelling to get it done.
Actually, since you said it, I talked to the team after the game was over with, and if we ever just put a full 60 minutes together instead of just one half, whether it's the first half or second half, and put a full 60 minutes together, I think they understand the things that we can do and be more explosive as an offensive unit. And for us team-wise, the defense played well the second half, and we're going to get it all together. That's something we're going to work on this week, and hopefully there'll be a breakout game for us against Texas Southern and putting everything together and just executing the way we should.
Okay.
All right, we're going to take a timeout here. Virgil standing by in Atlanta. We'll take this timeout at the bottom of the hour. We'll get to Virgil coming up after this 1-minute timeout. Halfway through the Fred McNair Radio Show. We'll be back in 1 minute.
We need every all-one alumnus and friend to be in Jackson, Mississippi at the state capitol on Tuesday, February 28th, 2017 at 8 a.m. for the annual Purple
I can kind of see it. I can kind
Mississippi
of see it in
Capitol.
pregame
All
warm-up.
corn needs your support
Everybody
for
just
funding of our
kind of laid
legislative
back.
agenda
We just
in the
don't.
2017
I don't know.
Mississippi
You can talk to these
legislative
kids
session.
and
Save the date,
they
Tuesday,
just don't
February
care.
28th, 2017.
I ain't nobody never had to tell me to get up for a football game. My son,
In
I love
Jackson,
to play.
Mississippi,
Yeah.
for Purple and Gold.
I don't care if I'm shooting
One
ball.
day, I'll teach chemistry to
I
kids.
don't know what it is. It just,
My dream is to be
they, like we always
The
say,
U.S.
they
Department
should
of
know the party's
Education's
on
Office
their
of
back.
Federal Student
Tell me all
Aid,
the
we
time.
provide more than $150
Everybody
billion
is out to
each
get
year
us.
in grants, loans, and work study funds, making higher education possible for
You gotta
anyone
go out there and
at
play
any
every
stage of
game
life.
like it's your
I can go
last.
back to college.
I can change careers. I can make a difference. Federal Student Aid, proud sponsor of the American Mind. Learn more about money for college at studentaid.gov.
All right, it's 32 minutes after the hour. We owe you a bottom of the hour ID, so let's get to it. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Alcorn Football Radio Network.
You are tuned in to WPRL 91.7 FM, broadcasting from the campus of Alcorn State University.
All right, let's get to the phone calls here. Virgil calling from Atlanta. Good evening, Virgil.
Good evening, Charles. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Coach McNair.
Coach McNair, how are you doing as well, sir?
I'm doing good, sir.
All right, Coach McNair. Now, question. Now, I noticed that we've been slow to start on our offense the first part of every game. Now, I tell you, when that second quarter, that was 2015 football. Now, I remember that, and it was just awesome. So what do we have to do to stick to that type of game plan in which we had the second quarter, which we played Alabama A&M? How can we stay consistent on that, throughout the rest of the season and get rid of the, to be honest, the wide receiver screens, they just don't work. We have to keep going north and south like we did that second half. What can we do to keep that, in tune?
Just like I said, we just got to keep it in tune. We just got to do more of it, and that's about all I can say on that. Just do more of it and execute, and that's the biggest thing. On most part of it, if we look at our film, like I've been saying, we go back and watch film and we self-scout and look at the things that we've called it, look at the things that we're doing, look at things we're running, and in every play you can always say something happened in that play to be a breakdown or part of that play not being executed as well as it should have been.
Thank you, Coach McNair.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Virgil. We appreciate you calling in. Virgil calling from Atlanta. All right, let's get to the fourth quarter highlights. Nip and tuck game, then Tip McKenzie gave the Braves a little breathing room.
Being chased, throws, and this is a catch for McKenzie, and he's going to score for the touchdown.
Wow, I thought he was throwing the ball underneath, and he threw it deep to McKenzie.
Well, Cedric Tillman, that was nice. The Braves needed something to happen, and they got points right there to extend their lead.
So the Braves went fast right there, Fred McNair. We needed a spark. We got it.
Yeah, that's the thing that we're capable of doing, Charles. And like I said, when Footman's in there, he's on, and he threw. Even against the wind that was blowing, I think he was just cutting through it. So with the velocity he have on the ball, and those guys gonna make plays for him when they throw it to him. So Tip made a great catch and a great run after catch.
So it was 28-19 at that point. The Braves tacked on a couple of touchdowns on Norris Footman from 4 yards out, and then Footman from a yard out, 35-19 at that point, then 42-19. That was the final score, Coach. A terrific second half, and hey, it's a four-quarter game. Every SWAC game's hotly contested. You're on the road. It's A&M's homecoming, so you would expect nothing else other than a competitive game, and it was so for the first, 37 minutes of the game.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Just us not starting fast. It's the first half and ended up the way it did. I think the guys just came out and this second half just stayed focused and doing the thing they're supposed to do to execute plays. And going into that environment, we know it was going to be tough to play. So especially at homecoming like that, and that's one of the things that our guys just stayed really focused. They knew it was going to be a big crowd, a big game. So we always tell them the next game is always the big game. So just be prepared for it.
Well, Norris Footman, first game back in a few weeks, 8 of 13, 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. So just talk about that, his performance. Obviously, the 2 picks, can clean that up, but pretty efficient, 8 of 13.
Yeah, what we asked for him to do, that's kind of efficient for the Norris. And, he had a couple drops there, but, it could have been a little bit better. But we always talk about, being accurate and being consistent in his passing game. And that's what we're getting now. So the more you see it and the more we do it, I think he'll be better at it. So we strive for every game to be over 65% in passing, so and percentage and stuff like that. So hopefully we'll continue to stay on that road and with more success with him at the helm.
He also led the team in rushing, 10 carries, 122 yards. Didn't realize he had 122 yards rushing, but his first game back, over a century running the football.
Oh yeah, he can run it. Just doing the things that he's supposed to do, making the right reads, keeping the ball and all that kind of stuff, Charles. It kind of helps him develop in a kind of a dual threat as a quarterback. But hopefully he'll stay on that road and continue to do the things that make him get better during practice time and watching film and just staying humble as he always is and just being that competitor on the field.
Were you holding your breath as he was running the football up and down the field. You know, a bad turn, cutting on the turf. Were you concerned about that, you know, as he was making his comeback, especially in a game like this, his first game back?
Yeah, and that's one of the things I told him after one of the runs he did. And he came to the sideline. I said, don't take the necessary hits, you know, just get down and get out of bounds, boy. And so there's always a glimpse there, you know, when you see him running after coming back from an injury. I hope he don't re-injure himself. So, you know, he stayed pretty much healthy during the course of it. But, you know, just like I always tell him, you know, you still kind of nurse the injury. Try to get it better for this week. And hopefully, you know, we have another breakout game like he did this past week.
If you weren't holding your breath, I was. Every time I heard Charles say Footman was keeping it, I'm just like, please don't let him get hit again. You know, because surprisingly to have him back already, and it seems like Saturday he was in rare form. So, of course, another injury would definitely, you know, hurt, but I was nervous. I really was.
Hopefully we can keep all our guys pretty much healthy throughout this second half of the season and get all the guys back. And you know, it's a stretch for us, but after this game we have a little bye week, and hopefully we can go in and get this one Saturday and get those guys a rest and let them heal because we got another big one after the bye week. So we just got to be ready to play every Saturday from here on out.
287 yards rushing, Coach. That's Braves football. I mean, last year when we're making that run, you know, with some games we had over 300 yards rushing. So that 287, that to me is Braves football. Of course, led by Footman, DeLance Turner, 81 yards, Aaron Baker with 60 yards. So when you look at all that, you know, when you can run the football like that, you're going to be in, if not win, many games.
And that's one thing I, you know, credit Coach Stanchek for. You know, he done a great job through offensive lineman and what he had to work with through those guys being hurt and all that kind of stuff. Now they have, you know, the biggest portion of his offensive line back. I think he's smiling over his heels right now, so I am too. But it means a lot when you have depth at that position. And even on the other side of the ball, on the defense side of the ball, now Coach Thomas is able to get old guys on the defense side of the ball a little rest now because we got that depth there. So hopefully, you know, we continue to have that and get the young guys playing better and the older guys really playing great.
Talk about and how grim, well, I wouldn't say grim, but we're getting guys healthier at the offensive line. But there was a time in which we were thin. You talked about it a couple of weeks ago. Even today in the coaches' teleconference against Arkansas, how many offensive linemen were we down to when it was maybe at its lowest point?
We was down like the little cookie crumb at the bottom of the barrel. That's where we was at, and you know. But those guys that played against Arkansas, you know, I thank those guys for the job that they did, giving up one sack, and I think only but two guys was a starter on that whole offensive line against Arkansas. So we played a lot of young guys that stepped up that game and made it contribute to everything we were doing offensive-wise. And now just to have the starters come back and the old guys knowing that they can play, you know, at that level after being put in games that are very contested for them, like the Arkansas team and battling with those guys. So it's a different type of football, you know, when you talk about SWAC and SEC play. So, but, you know, Coach Stanchek, like I said, he's done a great job with those guys, getting those guys ready to play each and every week.
I think you said this morning we're down to 5 at one point?
Yeah, that's what we played with in Arkansas, just 5 offensive linemen.
Wow.
The whole game. And like I said, he done a great job with those guys. And now we're beginning to get those guys back, and where we see a little daylight and see a little injury recovery stuff going on now. So we'll be hopefully get all those guys back in rare form on both sides of the ball to really be able to compete and come out and play really well on Saturday.
Receiving, Tip McKenzie with 64 yards, Collins Moore 50 yards. So talk about Collins Moore. We're calling his name more and more every game. He had a touchdown catch on Saturday. Give us his story.
Well, the biggest thing, you know, he's a fifth-year transfer from Ole Miss, and one of the guys we brought in last spring, and now he's really contributing. You know, with the absence of Charles Hughes, you know, having to have surgery on his shoulder, you know, we needed somebody to step up at that X position, and I think that he's doing that take control of that position, and where he can just make plays for us now. And hopefully that will continue and just kind of spread the wealth around, with all the guys we have playing receiver there. So, those guys are going to continue to get better each and every week, and they come out and work hard every day. And I can see the improvement that they're making now once they start playing in the ball games.
Okay, we have a tweet asking which position group has surprised you the most. And I know that's probably like asking who's your favorite child. But has there been, like, defense, offense, special teams, anybody who has kind of sparked and
you can see signs of all of them improving from every position, and hopefully, we'll get that continuously throughout the whole team. Everybody stepping up and making plays and doing the things they're supposed to do to get better every week. So, that's not to say one position is overlooking the other one, but I think that all the positions now are they're improving a whole lot. They're maturing as a unit, understanding the purpose of everything that we do as a team. And I think that's the biggest difference in being young, and now they're trying to grow up and mature as a football team. I see a lot of that going on now.
And do we know Warford's status, or when or if he will be back with us this season?
This week to week right now, and we're just going to continue to play that like that. And I talked to him probably about an hour ago, and he's having fun, and he's excited. I know he kind of torn by not being able to play, but because he's a competitor, that's a competitive nature in him. And I think that if he's able to come back before this year out, he'll come back. But if not, we'll do what we have to do to get him back for the next year.
On the defensive side, Coach, as we get to the defensive numbers, Daniel Franklin led the team with 8. Actually, Darian Anderson and Daniel Franklin with 8 tackles apiece. Trey Farrell with 6 tackles. So let's talk about Trey Farrell, a guy that we're calling more and more every week.
Yeah, he's a young guy too. Him and Solomon Muhammad, they're both young guys, and Coach Thornton is looking for those guys to step up and make plays for us. With Trey and Solomon. So hopefully, those guys will come around and that light bulb get turned on real bright, so they can just start really finding their way on that side of the ball, the linebacker position. And Dan Franklin, he one of the guys that kind of step up, and we're talking about maturing. I think he's one of the guys that's kind of developing now as a football player, the more and more he plays.
All right, so as we put a capper on the game, Atlanta chapter, Mr. T tweets, the Atlanta chapter was in full support on Saturday. Great job reducing the number of penalties, and I'm sure that we got to clean that up continually as we move forward.
And that's one of the things that we always strive to do, Charles, and even in practice time, the things that we do. And I know, it could be a penalty on every play if you really look at it from a football standpoint. That's something that we can't control, but the things that we can control, I think that we're getting better at it as a whole, as a football team. And, referees going to make calls and may not be the right call, but, that's something we have to live with. Argue a lot of time on calls, but, just to make sure that our kids know the right way to play football and the things that you have to do to be correct in compliance.
Mr. T also has a question off the Twitter line talking about Hayden McRaney. Is Hayden injured? Field goals are a struggle, it seems.
No, I think that Hayden was just pressing himself, and I talked to him about it coming off the field, the extra point he missed. We talked about that, and then the one punt that he whiffed and just took his eyes off the ball. And that's something that he normally don't do. Practice every day, he banging the football, and then one of the kickoff that he tried to just knock her out of the ball, looked like to me, and I just told him to quit pressing yourself and just kick the football. And, he understood that, just being a kicker and all those things, and he's a great kicker. I mean, he kicked some 40-yard field goal for us this year, so he's going to continue to get better, and as we go along, and we're going to need him down the line, so we just got to continue to get him better at this thing. 47
minutes after, we're going to go to Tallahassee, Florida, and Cedric Foster calling in. Of course, our thoughts and prayers are with the folks down in Florida. Big time hurricane that just that really did a lot of damage down in the state of Florida and North Carolina. Cedric joining us from Tallahassee. Good evening, Cedric.
Well, good evening. Good evening, Charles. Good evening, Coach.
How are you doing down there, Cedric?
Well, we're doing pretty good. You know, we up in the Panhandle and got some cousins that live in Jacksonville. I talked to them the other night. We texted each other, and they had went to Mobile to ride out the storm, and I kind of chastised them because I said, hey, you guys could have stopped here. We got room for you. But they wanted to just go over and visit family in Mobile. But they back, and they said that they didn't have any damage. Everything was good. Electricity was on, and everything was okay. And look like you see to me that between Daytona Beach and Jacksonville, look like they got hit the hardest.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to say this, that I didn't get a chance to listen to the game because I was working during that time, but when I did punch it up on my computer, I got my wife, I said, look at that score. I was just flabbergasted. And I wanted to say this to you, Coach. We coming over, wife and I, we coming over to the game here. We're coming over for homecoming, and she's been on my case about some flags. I got some flags, Alcorn State flags, that's probably about 6 years old. But every time I put them on the car, I'm superstitious. We always win coming over. So I'm not changing my flag. So if anybody see me on campus with those flags, don't laugh at them. They are blessed flags or lucky flags or whatever. I'm superstitious.
Wow.
But that's all I wanted to say. Say what, Coach?
I said bring them on.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to bring them on, too.
Yes, sir.
And Coach, you know, I don't know if you remember me, but we met at the Alcorn State Gulf Coast Alumni Association, and I think that was in April of this year.
Mm-hmm.
You and I took a picture. I put it on my Facebook page. So I don't know if you remember. I'm gonna tell you if you do remember, Coach. I think I said, hey, you know, Bethune-Cookman's gonna be ready, and we needed to be ready. I don't know if you remember that, but I'm the guy that talked to you during that time.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Go Braves.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Foster, safe travels. All right, Cedric Foster joining us. Before we take this break, we want to remind you that on Monday, October 31st, Halloween Madness at the Davy L. Whitney Arena. Come and meet the men's and women's basketball team. There'll be candy, costume contest, and the sounds of dynamite will be there. This is sponsored by Magnolia Bluffs Casino. For more information, call 601-877-6500. Basketball season is right around the corner. Before you know it, exhibition games and the start of the regular season for second-year head coach Montez Robinson and Courtney Pruitt. So the Halloween Madness, October 31st at 7 o'clock at the Whitney Arena, sponsored by Magnolia Bluffs. For more information, call 601-877-6500. 51 minutes after, we'll give you the SWAC score standings, and we'll talk about Texas Southern. We'll hear from their head coach, Michael Haywood, on the other side of this 1-minute timeout.
Pride at home or in the office by purchasing the Alcorn State back-to-back SWAC Champions replica trophy. They're $20 each and make a great coffee table piece or desk paperweight. Get yours today online by going to alcorn.edu/foundation. Or you can call Larry Smith at 601-877-2470 or send him an email, lsmith@alcorn.edu. Proceeds will benefit Alcorn football.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes in Mississippi are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics, high school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Mississippi High School Activities Association and the Mississippi Athletic Administrators Association.
At WPRL 91.7 FM.
All right, 52 minutes after the hour, let's give you the SWAC report. Coach, there were 5 SWAC teams that were off last week. Jackson State and Southern had back-to-back bye weeks. I can't remember a week in this conference in the 20-plus years I've been involved in it in which you had half the league off on one particular week.
Well, Charles, just wait till next year. Because next year they went to that 7-game SWAC schedule, so it'll be a lot of bye weeks, and because it was a short amount of time that but you had to schedule games, and everybody pretty much booked up into 2 years. So hopefully we'll be able to fill hours for the next year. Where you start off with 3 openings right now until we find somebody to play in those spots right now. So I'm not surprised about it, but we going to be in that situation next year too, where a lot of teams have bye weeks.
I think Southern, from what a colleague told me, Southern had a chance this past week to play a team at home and to pay a guarantee, but they chose not to do that. They were already off last week. They could have played this week at home, but chose not to pay a guarantee to a team playing down, so they just took the bye week and had back-to-back bye weeks. All right, let's look at the scores. Prairie View over Alabama State 24-17. Bama State jumped out to a 14-0 lead in that game, and Montana over Mississippi Valley 67-7. The standings in the East, I think it's a 2-horse race. Jackson State 2-1, your Braves 2-2. Alabama A&M 1-4, Bama State 1-4, Valley 0-4. In the West, Grambling 3-0, Southern 2-0, Prairie View 4-1, Texas Southern 3-1, and UAPB 1-2. Coach McNair, you got to take it 1 week at a time. Even though you look at the standings, you have A&M, Bama State, Valley with 4 losses. We still have Valley to go and a bunch of other conference games, so you got to take it 1 at a time.
Well, that's right, Charles, and I know you're hard ever going to tell the kids that about the standings, but they read it too. And like I said, we just got to take 1 game at a time and continue to press on every week to get better and be ready to play on Saturday.
Well, Saturday it's Texas Southern. They've won 3 in a row. They're averaging 28 points a game, number 3 in the league in points per game. So they're a high-scoring team coming in. Their first-year head coach is Michael Haywood. He talks about his team's bye week and what he can expect as his team rolls in here on homecoming.
We practiced on Monday and Tuesday of last week, lifted weights on Tuesday and Thursday. Wednesday and Thursday. Gave the guys off on Friday, and then we geared back up this morning, and we went at 6 o'clock this morning with our first day of practice for Alcorn State.
Coach, you all have won 3 straight games. What's been the biggest surprise as you look at your team through the first 5 weeks?
I think the play of the quarterback has gotten better over the last 3 weeks, along with the offensive line doing a better job of protecting. And I guess the biggest surprise is probably just having a healthy football team. And our defense is getting better and playing it, making plays when we need them to make plays. And special teams have done a tremendous job.
Your quarterback Hurts. Talk a little bit about him. He's thrown for almost 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns. What's been pleasing to you as you watch him perform every week?
I just think that the staff is doing a tremendous job in doing what he can do. Being able to run the football definitely opens it up for the play-action pass, the short game, and then a limited amount of 5-step drop. And I think the staff is doing a really good job in putting him in position to have success. And he's spending a lot of time in the office studying the game plan and understanding the opponent and being able to attack the opponent appropriately.
Coach, I know it was a couple of weeks ago, but how big was that win over Alabama A&M at the Horn on the 51-yard field goal in terms of confidence and momentum? How big was that?
Well, I think any win that you can get is a momentum builder. At the same time, I think that there was a momentum builder for our field goal goal team who, the common phrase that we use every day, we got 9 men committed to making it go around. And then the kicker Medina did a nice job of kicking the 51-yard field goal. So we're extremely proud of those guys, and the players were extremely proud of them, and we're looking forward to our opponent this coming week.
Yeah, talk about that. You're coming to Alcorn on their homecoming, 2-time defending champs. What do you see in the Braves on both sides of the ball?
I think Alcorn is an outstanding football team. They've won 2 championships back-to-back. It's a great opportunity for us to go in and see what we measure up against the champions. I think that they're finding an identity in their 11 personnel and running the football.
All right, so that's Coach Haywood. All right, first-year coach, Coach Fred McNair, Coach Haywood, lock and horn. So when you look at Texas Southern, they won 3 in a row, scoring a bunch of points similar to Alabama A&M.
Yeah, they are doing that, Charles, and you know, they got a couple guys, and you talk about the quarterback, a great job he's doing there in the pocket and Hurts. So we just got to be able to contain him and do the things and right to keep him contained on their offense. And they got a receiver, Austin Watts, good receiver. You know, he's a Mississippi kid, actually, down from Summerall, and actually we had a chance to get that kid, but we let him slip through the loops on us. And we got our work cut out for us. They're very solid on defense and do a lot of great things, schematic wise and offensive wise. You know, they gonna pound the ball and throw it accurately. So I think they're doing a great job of everything they do as far as that team. Special team wise, they got a lot of fakes going on with special teams. So we just got to be prepared for them all phases of the game right now.
Coach, we got about a minute left. This homecoming, you talked about it at the top, the distractions and all that. So it's an important game, obviously, but you got to hone in with a whole bunch of alums and folks that'll be around here all week long.
That's exactly right, Charles. We just got to make sure the guys just stay focused on the task at hand. That's a good Texas Southern football team that's going to come in and try to knock them off on their homecoming. So, you know, we realize that as a staff, and we did what we got to do to keep these guys focused for the week.
Braves football, 2 o'clock kick, the parade at 9 a.m. Get here early. They're already setting up tents and tailgate spots as we speak. Coach, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week, and the best of luck.
Thank you, Charles.
As head coach Fred McNair, we'll be on the air at 1:30 with the Alcorn pregame show. We'll talk with Larry Chatterbox Hale of the Texas Southern Radio Network. We'll talk to Dr. Ronaldo Murray and the Sounds of Dynamite Band director at halftime. Hope you tune in on the Alcorn Braves Football Radio Network, Alcorn and Texas Southern. That'll do it for the Fred McNair Radio Show. Keisha, great job with the tweets. Our producer, Jamario Brooks, we appreciate all the phone calls. We'll talk to you next week. We got a bye week next week, so we'll talk about that. I'm Charles Edmond for the Alcorn Football Radio Network. So long, folks.
Oh, yeah.